Where did you see this coming? A massive secret just leaked, and trust me, it changed everything.
They didn't see this coming, not the fans watching from their couches, not the producers stitching scenes together in the editing room, and definitely not Emma herself the moment she stepped off that plane in Morocco and realized the man she thought she knew might actually be someone completely different. 1 second it looked like a dreamy cross-cultural romance straight out of reality TV fantasy, and the next it felt like the beginning of a messy emotional chess match where every move had consequences. Because here's the twist that had viewers whispering across Reddit threads and TikTok comment sections. Somewhere behind the sweet smiles and romantic dinners, there were rumors of a hidden truth, a secret conversation, and a name, Muhammad, that could flip the entire relationship upside down.
And if you stay with this story until the end, you'll understand exactly why this relationship between Emma and Ziad might have been doomed long before the cameras from 90 Day Fiancé, before the 90 Days and TLC ever started rolling. When Emma first landed in Morocco, the air felt different. The streets buzzed with that mix of color, spice, and tradition that makes the country feel almost cinematic. For Emma, this trip wasn't just a vacation, it was a test, the kind that reality TV couples know all too well. 3 weeks. That's how long Ziad said he needed to figure out if their love was real or just another long-distance fantasy built through video calls and carefully filtered selfies. On paper, the idea sounded reasonable. But the moment they started spending real time together, the cracks began to show. It started with something small, a hug that didn't happen. Emma had imagined their reunion 100 times in her head. Running into his arms at the airport, maybe a kiss, maybe that classic reality TV moment where strangers nearby clap because love just looks that obvious. But Ziad stepped back, polite, calm, controlled, and suddenly Emma realized something she hadn't fully processed before. His faith, his culture, and his personal boundaries weren't just background details in their story. They were the rules.
Don't forget to subscribe for more tea. Now let's get back to the drama.
Ziad explained it carefully, the way someone does when they know the truth might sting. As a practicing Muslim, physical intimacy before marriage wasn't something he was comfortable with. No kissing, no hugging in public, no crossing those lines. To him, this wasn't negotiable, it was about respect, about faith, about living according to principles that had guided his entire life. Emma nodded, but inside you could almost see the confusion spinning. Because here's where things started to feel messy. Back when they were thousands of miles apart, their conversations had sounded different. Flirty, romantic, sometimes even suggestive, the kind of late-night talks couples have when distance makes everything feel more intense. So Emma wondered what viewers at home were wondering too. Was this a genuine boundary, or was something changing now that the cameras were there? That question quietly simmered through their first few days together. They walked through markets, shared tea, tried to learn each other's rhythms. And for a moment, it looked like maybe the awkwardness would fade. But reality TV has a funny way of turning small misunderstandings into full-blown emotional earthquakes. One night, during a quiet conversation, Emma dropped a bomb that had nothing to do with romance but everything to do with pressure. She'd been fired from a job she loved. The news had hit her like a truck, and suddenly the trip that was supposed to be about love also carried the weight of uncertainty about her future. For a second, Ziad's expression changed. Not anger, not judgment, something softer. He told her to breathe, to focus on the moment they were sharing right now, to let the future wait. And in that moment, viewers saw a different side of him. The calm protector, the guy who could cook dinner from scratch just to make her smile. The guy who handed her a small Moroccan gift one evening, a simple object, but one chosen with care. Those moments mattered. They built something fragile but real between them. And slowly, almost quietly, the distance between them began to shrink. You could see it in the way their conversation softened. In the way Emma's laughter came back after those early awkward days. Even the producers seemed to lean into the shift, giving viewers those cozy dinner scenes and sunset walks that make you think maybe, just maybe, this crazy experiment might actually work. But if you've watched enough reality TV, you know that when things start looking too perfect, something is usually about to explode. Behind the scenes, the internet detectives were already working overtime. Reddit threads started connecting dots between past interviews, social media posts, and tiny details from earlier episodes. TikTok creators slowed down clips, analyzing body language like they were solving a crime documentary. Was Ziad holding something back? Was Emma ignoring red flags? Or was this another case of reality TV, Franken editing, where producers rearrange scenes to manufacture drama? The truth, at least on the surface, seemed simpler. Eventually, the couple crossed the line that had once seemed impossible. Emma later described their physical relationship as positive, even affirming. Not something reckless or scandalous, but something that deepened the emotional bond they had been building. For her, it felt like proof that Ziad's feelings were real. And for a while, things looked good. Too good, maybe, because right around the halfway point of their trip, something subtle began to change again. Emma started talking about the future. Marriage, engagement, the possibility that this whole journey might actually end with a ring and AK-1 visa application, the ultimate goal for so many couples in the 90-day universe. Ziad didn't shut the idea down. But he didn't fully embrace it either. Instead, he kept repeating that word, test. The trip was a test. Their compatibility was a test. The cultural differences were a test. And every time he said it, Emma smiled, but viewers could see the worry hiding behind that smile. Because here's the thing about tests in relationships. Sometimes one person thinks they're already passing, while the other person is still deciding whether the exam has even started. At this point in the story, if you're enjoying this deep dive into reality TV chaos, you might want to stick around with Talent Zone updates and hit subscribe, because stories like this get even wilder once the off-camera details start surfacing. And that's exactly where this story takes its biggest turn. For most of their trip, Emma carried something with her like a stone in her pocket. A secret she hadn't told Ziad yet. A piece of her past that she knew could change everything if it came out the wrong way. The name attached to that secret was Muhammad. Now, the show itself didn't immediately reveal what the story behind Muhammad actually was, and that mystery turned the fandom into a full-blown detective agency overnight. Some fans speculated it might have been an ex-boyfriend. Others thought it could be a previous engagement or a complicated friendship that blurred emotional lines. What's important here is this: Emma knew Ziad valued honesty above almost everything else. And yet she waited. Day after day, the moment to tell him never felt right. There was always a dinner, a laugh, a quiet moment that felt too peaceful to disrupt with a confession that might shatter everything they had built. But secrets don't stay quiet forever. And the closer they got to the end of the trip, the heavier that secret became. Imagine sitting across from someone you're starting to fall deeply for, knowing that one conversation could change how they see you forever. That was Emma's reality. The tension built slowly, almost invisibly. Even their happiest moments carried an undercurrent of anxiety, like the calm before a storm that hasn't fully formed yet. By the time the final days of their trip arrived, viewers could feel it too. Because here's the hidden truth that made this entire story so compelling. The biggest threat to their relationship wasn't culture, religion, or distance. It was timing. Ziad believed trust had to be absolute. Emma believed love could survive complicated histories. Those two beliefs sound similar, but they're actually worlds apart. If Emma told him too late, it could look like deception. If she told him too early, it could destroy the fragile connection they were just beginning to build. So the question hanging over everything became simple but brutal. Would the truth bring them closer together, or blow the entire relationship apart? As the cameras captured their final romantic moments in Morocco, shared meals, quiet smiles, those lingering looks that reality TV editors love, the audience at home was left with the same uneasy feeling. Something big was coming, and when that truth about Muhammad finally surfaced, it had the potential to rewrite everything fans thought they knew about Emma and Ziad's love story. Because sometimes the biggest drama in relationships isn't betrayal or cheating. Sometimes it's the moment when two people realize they've been holding different versions of the same story all along. So now the debate that's lighting up fan communities everywhere is this: was Emma protecting their relationship by waiting to reveal her secret, or was she unknowingly setting up the very heartbreak she was trying to avoid? And honestly, after everything we've seen in the unpredictable world of 90 Day Fiancé, before the 90 days, the real question might be even bigger than that. Was this relationship ever truly meant to survive the truth?
What do you think? Comment below. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next one.